Hey there, friend, and welcome to my January 10th. Today is Monday, so looking to get it started nice and fresh, which means I decided to shave. I've got a baby face, so I definitely don't need to shave every day, probably once or twice a week, depending on how shaggy I want to get. But that's how I started today and felt good. And then of course, got to make myself look pretty and just try to get that hair just right because it's Vloguary, so I'm on video all day. To continue the trend of wanting to start the week with a fresh slate, I kind of cleaned up a little bit in the kitchen. I guess there was a little bit that we hadn't done last night, but tried to get that stuff out of the way. Jessie did her normal Monday morning thing, which is heading out to a coffee shop. I made myself some oats, which is pretty much the other breakfast that I will alternate. You have seen the other one with the potatoes if you've been following along in Vloguary here. And then I sat down to do my morning routine. I mentioned last week that I've kind of gotten out of this routine with starting Vloguary and that I really wanted to be intentional about getting back into it. So I sat down to do this today before I started editing the vlog to make sure that I got it in. I start with the Daily Stoic, which is just a quick reading. I didn't particularly resonate with today's. And then I moved on to the Tools of Titans, which again are pretty short segments, so easy enough to pick up and read. And again, today didn't really resonate with a whole lot. They weren't bad readings, just weren't ones that really struck me. From there, I moved on to my tarot card pull. So while I shuffle here, I just start to think about an intention or a question that I have and am open to getting some type of guidance on. I love tarot because, contrary to popular belief, it is not fortune telling. It is simply a tool to allow you to get in touch with your intuition, your inner knowing, and to really allow you to feel into that, and offers you an opportunity to make meaning based on what the cards show. So as I shuffle here, I kind of just wait to see when a card pops itself out or aligns itself differently, and I'll grab that one. The card that I ended up pulling was the Nine of Pentacles. And the first thing I'll do is just kind of look at the card and immediately sit with how it's feeling. To me, I know Pentacles is aligned with earthly things like money and work and success, and there's a lot of them. But there's also kind of this sinister but bright looking band at the top. Almost looks kind of like a coral snake. So I'm just getting these vibes of this is a lot of good, but to kind of be wary. From there, I'll take a look at the booklet that came with the deck. Nine of Pentacles, success, prosperity. 3 lines of 3 pentacles lead up to a bright ribbon that has a dark side. Luxury and prosperity may make you feel happy for a short while. Be careful not to confuse this with the dark side of materialism. And then finally, I'll move on to a tarot book that we have. Open it up to the Nine of Pentacles. Within life, there are ample opportunities for us to draw on the support of others. But the Nine of Pentacles represents those accomplishments we have earned through the investment of our own blood, sweat, and tears. Independence is the essence of the Nine of Pentacles. Despite the odds, it suggests the ability to succeed on our own merit. When this card comes into play, it acknowledges personal achievements, material gain, and enough business acumen to work independently. Traditionally, strong women have identified with this card in their readings, but the energy of this card will be relatable to anyone who has carved out their own place in the world or who has a comfortable life of their own making. The Nine of Pentacles is considered fortunate within a reading, but this is far from being a card of random luck. There's a feeling of security and well-deserved accomplishment in the person described by this card. To round out this routine, I usually just give myself a couple minutes to sit with everything that I just consumed and will write out whatever is coming to me. In this case, the tarot reading really hit me, and therefore I wrote out, make your own luck. Show up, do the things you need to do, and the rest will come to you. There you have it. That's the power of tarot. It's not fortune telling. And now I will say, like, if you consider the card and you consider my question, that's a pretty interesting, pull. Very much relevant to what we're talking about here, because there's so many things that come out of the cards in terms of creativity, lifestyle, relationship. So the fact that this was like very much about money and success was pretty interesting. But at the end of the day, the power of tarot is how you respond to it, because it is allowing the things that you know in your gut, in your heart, in your subconscious to come to the surface. As humans, we are meaning-making creatures, and sometimes if we have a tool to help us make meaning or bring these truths or this inner knowledge that we have to the surface, we should use it. With that though, I'm going to get this stuff cleaned up. The dogs are over here, passed out. There's one under the table, one over there. And I am going to edit yesterday's vlog. With a little bit of help from Sir Finnegan. Will you listen to that? That is the sound of silence. All right, so this day just continues to fly by without me actually having sat down and done any real work. So yeah, time to get to that right now. So I'm starting here by setting up my weekly block to chart my path, as I call it, planning the week and making sure that I get everything in. This will be the time where I set everything up from the year ahead, as I mentioned in previous videos. Also got my pad of paper here so that I can write stuff down, because that's the way my brain functions best. I find it helpful to have that pad there just to kind of dump things, and then I can organize more on the computer itself. So you'll see here, just kind of messing around with my Google Calendar, which is my life. Everything I do, I keep track of in my Google Calendar. I do sometimes struggle to actually stick to it, but I absolutely need the visual blocks of the calendar in order to keep myself organized. I also have a lot of revamping to do, because as my schedule changes and I transition out of a full-time coaching business into having a day job, things will be shuffling around, and I really want to make sure to stay on top of that and be really, really organized from day to day. And now for a little afternoon pick-me-up, some cacao. We both wrapped up some work then. I actually personal trained my mom over Zoom, which I always enjoy. Just didn't happen to show any of it here. And then I got to making some dinner. food is done. The main piece of meal here is a chickpea taco, quote unquote meat, which we're just kind of trying for the first time. Got a little bit of black refried beans, and then some hard taco shells, dairy-free sour cream, and some pico.
Are y'all hard or soft shell people?
Down below. Oh, where's my finger? I was like, comment down below. Yeah, I feel like I can go. Well, what are you?
I am hard shell. When I was younger, I would never eat a soft shell taco.
Okay.
Now, I will, because we've just gotten used to it.
Yeah.
But my preference is hard shell for
Yeah.
Or chips.
I like both. I grew up on having flour tortillas in the fridge and kind of using them for both like regular plain meals and just like when I wanted to, for roll-ups and stuff like that too. But these are kind of like a nice little change of pace. We've been enjoying these the past like couple times we've had tacos, so I'm gonna stop filming because I am starving.
You made him get out now.
Uh-oh. Hey, buddy.
His tail's in between chorus,
I ended up wrapping the day up doing a little bit of studying. So this in particular is MySQL. Just brushing up on this. I know this pretty well, but since it's been a while that I worked with it, really just want to have a full understanding. And I'm excited because I'm actually wrapping up the theoretical lectures here, and we'll get into some of the actual programming going forwards, which I'm a nerd, so it'll be fun. But thanks for hanging out today, and I will see you tomorrow.